Now, since Russia's invasion of Ukraine 2 years ago, nearly 200 Ukrainian medics have been killed. This is whilst they're trying to save lives. A group of frontline medical personnel have been sharing their stories to mark the anniversary of the start of the war, which is coming up. Now, Charlie has left the studio to join some of them this morning and see the evidence of the reality of what they're dealing with. Charlie.
Yeah, it's quite striking, Naga. We've just come outside the studio here. We're at Media City. It's not raining. This country, of course, is peaceful. And you see this ambulance here, which has been used by army medics in Ukraine. And as soon as you look at it, you see the evidence of what it's like to work in a war zone. I'm very pleased to say some of those paramedics are with us here. Brandon, come over this way if you would. Good morning to you,
Good morning,
Brandon.
Charlie. Thanks for having us.
Can I just say, first of all, Brandon has a very calming manner, which is partly why I suppose you're able to do the line of work you do. So people understand the kind of risks and situations you go into. We can see the evidence behind you. You have driven over a mine that has blown up. That's happened.
Yes,
two
that's
mines,
correct.
two different incidents.
Two mines at once. Town of Soledar in the east of Ukraine. We don't own it anymore. We don't have it. That was the first summer of the war, evacuating civilians and, and children.
So you're called out to you're in. You know, there's what is this? An active situation, and you're called out, and then what happens?
Russia is advancing their forces over days, weeks, and the stragglers left in the towns then decide they want to go, and they want to leave, and they want to come, and we, with the army, will bring them to humanitarian organizations.
And you're driving the ambulance?
Not this particular one, but similar fashion, yes.
What was it like?
Scary, very scary. Just trying to do the right thing and focus in the moment.
We can see some of the damage. I don't know if the camera can actually look in, and maybe Rand, you can explain. I mean, you can see the damage. I'm not sure what happened to this particular ambulance, but you can see the damage on the inside as well.
So I work with the army. Our vehicles are green. This is a civilian pattern ambulance that you would find in any of the frontline cities, which are subject to this.
Okay.
This is artillery. This would come from a larger artillery round, and they could fire from perhaps 20 miles or more.
And this is the kind of thing that could be coming through the windscreen or
the holes that you
outside.
see in this vehicle. This is what pierced through that steel.
Okay, let's all go this way. Brandon, you lead the way around here, because I think this is quite shocking in itself. And then, Brandon, when we come this side, and I'll
Yes.
get out the way so the camera can see this. Brandon, these are bullet holes.
We have some bullet holes, yes, and we have various fragmentation. This probably likely hit, perhaps 100, 150 yards away, and that will carry onward. It's so powerful, it will even move objects. I don't want to shock your audience, but a building could be hit and a brick could fly, indirect. People will lose limbs, not even from this.
Irina, step in this way a little bit. I'm very pleased to say we can talk to Irina now. Brandon just used the word Lucky, I think. That is your nickname.
Yeah, this is my sign name.
Why is Lucky your nickname?
It's very important to be lucky on the front line. So when I was told I have to choose a sign name, I decided to choose it because I'm a really lucky person. And usually I spread my luckiness over people around. Because when I come to position, the amount of casualty is starting gradual decrease. I don't know how it works, but it works.
So your fellow paramedics who work alongside you know that you're a good person to be with in those circumstances.
Yes, I have a white cloud.
The reality of this situation, as you know firsthand, is that you have lost many colleagues. I think, is it 200 medics have been lost?
Yes, I think
Brandon,
so.
is that correct? Sorry,
so.
I think the figure they're saying is 200 people who are doing this
that number
line of
is
work.
increasing. That number is increasing.
Okay, maybe we can all walk down around the back of the van here. You follow us this way. We have Yuri and Katerina, who are also here. Hello, Yuri.
Good morning.
Do you want to just sort of show us inside the back of the ambulance here and the kind of work that happens here? I'll just come around the other side so we can hear you on the microphone.
Absolutely. So you see kind of average medical evacuation or a vehicle or an ambulance, which we use in Ukraine. Looks pretty civilian, of course, but you can look at the damage. This is the stretcher, which can come out, and we can put a wounded person on this stretcher and get him or her in. Usually we would use a certain material to wrap to prevent hypothermia. And then the medics would position themselves close to the person's head to maintain the airway and just sustain the life of that patient. Obviously, some equipment is missing here, but we normally would have many monitors and a breathing apparatus and oxygen tanks.
You work obviously in very stressful environments. How do you deal with the stress that you have to deal with?
Well, as a medic on a MOAS medical evacuation team, we are concentrating on the well-being of our patients and saving their lives. The most stressful for us is the idea that we can lose the life while we're taking care of this patient. So we're trying to prepare ourselves, and with help of our donors, we have enough equipment to sustain their lives, to save them. And in my hands, I'm here, you see a piece of shrapnel found in this ambulance. This is the injuries we're dealing with. This is an artillery round or mortar round which exploded nearby to this vehicle, and it was designed to go through people's flesh to create immense damage, critical injuries. So you can imagine what these people, our patients, are suffering.
Let me bring in, if I, Katerina, do you want to come over this way a little bit? Come in the middle between us here. There's a reason why you've come to the UK. You're talking to people, aren't you? You're trying to help people understand the work you do and the importance of the support that people are giving from the UK.
Firstly, I want to say face-to-face to British people my thanks for supporting Ukraine. And of course, it's important to show artifacts because it's like more influence on people, of course.
How do people react when you talk to them here? I know you've chatted with quite a few people so far.
Yesterday we showed this ambulance into streets of London, and of course people react, they take photos, they ask something, and it's like very normal to see ambulance what is damaged. It's not normal for people here because what you imagine only car crash with ambulance, and it's already very scary.
It's very true. Thank you both so much for showing us around. I'll come back round. Sorry, I'm turning around here, but maybe we can finish with the shot. And Brandon, you can just talk us through. You're on a tour, aren't you? You're visiting, as Katerina was saying, a number of cities, and just chatting to people. And people are obviously curious. Number
Very
one,
interested.
because they see this and they witness it firsthand, and then you have further conversations, presumably, about the situation in Ukraine now.
We've been very privileged to talk to media, celebrities. Even Vogue wants to do a photo shoot, if you could believe, of us. This is a privately funded tour, and they're happening in all the Western capitals. And I'm a foreign man, but women, the men cannot leave the country, and some of us foreign men that must come and talk about this, from London to Edinburgh to here in Manchester. This is not uncommon, what you see here.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for taking us through the work you do as well, obviously. So thank you very much. And maybe we just leave you with a picture in the ambulance. We can take you around the front there again, because I mean, it just really does bring it home. And as I said at the beginning, Naga, it really is about it's about the juxtaposition of, you know, here we are in Media City, and it's not a bad day, and people will be going about their weekends, and you see this in this situation, and it does rather bring home the realities of what happens in war zones.
Absolutely. It's just something we would never expect to see here in this country, which so many Ukrainians 2 years ago would have had the same thoughts. Charlie, thanks very much. Thanks very much to all your guests as well.